Alright. Hopefully the music worked this time. Alright. So, to recap again the story, you guys have been contacted by Zarin Lokai, a Deveronian, who, for those of you who may not be familiar with Star Wars aliens, are the devil-looking kind of aliens that you probably saw in the cantina in Episode 4. And he is an info chant, so he sells information for a living. And at this point, all of you are desperate in need of money. In order to repair your ship, you guys basically have to take on any work that you can. You're also in the possession of extremely hot, stolen Imperial property in the form of R323. So you guys don't have a lot of options. Like, typical contracting work is pretty dangerous. And without the money, you guys aren't really going to go anywhere. Xanya had some issues keeping the hyperdrive operational on the way in. Like, it wasn't good. So, you've now come to Cloud City, and Zarin Lokai has tasked you with retrieving his mouse droid, which he informs you has run away. He did not offer any real suggestions as to why it ran away. He has not told you what is on the mouse droid's memory banks, except that it is extremely important to him, and that he can't proceed with other plans until he gets that droid back. You guys also kicked around Cloud City a little bit. You went to a bar called the 4.5 where you met Lokai, and in that bar you guys checked a bounty board where you saw that there was actually a really weird bounty on what appeared to be an elderly jewel thief. You guys noted it was weird, considered going after the bounty. Lokai told you that's been up for years and nobody's ever gotten it. In addition, he confirmed to you that that person didn't even manage to steal the jewel in question. You guys resolved to perhaps investigate it later, but didn't actually get a chance to do that before you guys decided to go after the Triple Bs, whose territory the maintenance hatch you guys needed to access was in. That maintenance hatch, as explained to you by Lokai, accesses a certain section of tunnel which is under an old disused carbon freezing chamber. And you basically have to go through a whole section of maintenance shaft in order to get to where he last saw the droid on his scanner. So you guys have a map. The map is through the maintenance section, but you don't know, like, really specifics, besides the actual, like, rooms and whatnot. And in addition to that, there are blockages everywhere. He told you that this was the only access, and you guys didn't manage to investigate to see if other accesses were open, but you managed to go through the one that he knew was open in the Triple B territory. Again, the Triple B is a gang that makes its living selling illicit substances for the most part. You guys fought a Lutrillian gangster named Big B. Lutrillians being sort of manatee-faced aliens, kind of. Somebody linked a picture last week, and it was actually kind of terrifying. It didn't look like the Lutrillians I remembered, but... yeah, so you guys have basically, after a firefight, which actually destroyed part of a building as R323 used a flamethrower to ignite a room that seemed to have chemicals of some kind in it. You guys have now fought your way through the maintenance hatch, sealed it behind you, and in front of you is this body that has been ripped apart by something, and it's not exactly clear what it was. We already have a roll from Calum, however. For that, I'm going to go over the dice screen, and hopefully we will all follow me to that screen. Here we are. Hello. So this result for, like, I know Sylvanora was saying that you guys want to have a little bit better sort of explanation of the dice. So our result here is 1 success, which is the explosion thing, and then 3 threat, which are the weird turtle shell hexagon type things. So that means that Calum has successfully learned some information about this body. However, there are perhaps some unintended consequences, or maybe in this case details that he's not sure about. So this was a knowledge xenology check. So you take a look at this body. The body is a Lutrillian.
Mm-hmm.
It has been heavily savaged by something, and you just by looking at it and the like skeletal remains of it, like there is some flesh on it, but it looks primarily like it was eaten by something. The marks on like the bones and what are consistent with something with very large canines, so some kind of predator. You think, based on like incidental claw marks in the area, that it's probably feline, just based on the shape of the marks. But it's kind of hard to tell exactly what it is. It is definitely some kind of predator, and you believe it to be a feline. Beyond that, there's no like outstanding marks that say like this is definitely a manka cat or something.
Right.
It's just. It is a little unnerving because, like, a feline of this size shouldn't really be running around in maintenance hatches.
Right.
So the Manka Cat game is actually named after Manka Cats on Cloud City. I enjoyed this thoroughly.
One of the things, too, is I was thinking it could be related to the illegal animal fighting that's going on in the bar. Maybe an escaped contestant.
That is a good point. Maybe they're not just fighting Mynocks. Maybe they're fighting Manka Cats as well. Well, let's hope
That's
there's
a pretty
one that
big
escaped.
difference.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we just came on Mynock night.
That's true. I'm not one to judge. It was a pretty big bar.
Yeah.
It was the middle of the week. I mean, maybe they ramp it up for like Saturday nights or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Manka Cats, get ready for it.
If you want, you can make a knowledge underworld check. I will set the difficulty here for you.
I will actually do that because I have that.
Okay, you're good to go.
Nice.
So Calum starts looking at this body and basically expresses to you that it was mauled by a large feline. You have met criminal overminds and like bosses and whatnot who kept large luxury sort of exotic species as pets, partly as, you know, like a prestige thing, and partly as a like I'm a dangerous person and I have a dangerous cat and don't mess with me kind of thing. You like your role doesn't help you identify it, but you would not be surprised if maybe this was an escaped animal like that. Certainly you've not heard of anything native to Cloud City that'd be running around inside Cloud City superstructure, so that makes sense, even if it's a good hunch, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what is really native to Cloud City? It's a city in the clouds, so I don't think that anything type feline would be native, so I think that's a pretty good assumption on our part. We don't see or hear anything, right? We just see the body and kind of identified what it's been killed by. We don't actually like have an immediate threat, right?
Yeah, you're not immediately threatened by anything. It is kind of dark in here. It looks like a lot of the power in this area has been stripped out for some reason, which is not clear. Obviously, the door was operational because you guys managed to operate the door. But for the most part, you guys are standing on sort of like a grating floor, and you can see like, you know, actual like cable accesses and whatnot below that grating. So like, you know, people could pop the grating up and go underneath and fix stuff. And this room is basically just a long hallway, and at the end it has what appears to be another door. Similar to the one that you guys just came through, however, a little bit lighter, probably because it's not designed to be like the outer maintenance door that has to seal everything in case of like a gas leak or something. So that's pretty much the situation. It just looks like a hallway, and it's very dark, and it kind of smells bad because this body is decaying.
I have a question about the body.
Yep.
Does it look like it was placed in a way that it fell, or like was it thrown in by someone else after it was mauled by this? Or is this where the person was mauled? Like, is there blood everywhere else?
Can you give me a perception check?
I can do that.
Let me just set your difficulty. Does anybody have a light source?
I mean, I have a flamethrower.
Yeah, I have my weapon. I could fire at stuff, and that would give off some light.
You can
probably have
absolutely
light.
fire your weapon for light if you
Let's
want.
not do that.
I will 100% allow this.
I feel like that's a terrible idea.
I feel like I maybe have a light.
Okay. I mean, you're not really, like, even though you are a droid, you're not really supposed to have, like, equipment beyond that which a normal person would have. It's just built into you. But I'll say that you have a light for this.
I could shoot my flame projector a little bit.
You have a weak.
Just a little bit.
You have a weak.
I like
light.
that.
You have a weak light.
Little flame torch.
So,
Alright, I need a roll perception, don't I?
Yep. Difficulty is good to go.
I could always use my data pad, kind of like how I use my cell phone in real life when it's have the glare.
You take a look around, and there, you do see a lot of blood. It appears dried now. I think it's old, but you can't really discern any sort of additional information about how this attack went down, if this person was thrown in here, if they were dropped from above. It's
Guy's dead.
not clear. There's like, but there is blood in several areas, so it looks like a fight probably happened. Like, it wasn't like they just got thrown down here. But in terms of, like, other information, you're not really sure.
So, before we go any further, do we have any way of, like, maybe patching me up at the very least? Because I took a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah.
When we were in that firefight.
I have some repair kits.
Definitely got shot in the arm a couple times.
I don't think we actually have a healer, but I do have some stim packs. Did everyone pick up stim packs, by the way, with their starting
No.
money? No? Okay,
No.
so I'm like the enforcer hired gun. Zabrak is kind of the pseudo.
I've got repair
I actually
kits. I'm
remembered
good.
stim packs. Okay,
Okay.
I will stab you with a stim pack, which means
Yes, be the Watson to my Holmes.
yeah, so you'll heal 5 health.
Fantastic.
That is the extent of my medicine, is just sticking you with a needle.
That's why it's just like, oh god.
How much are you
Well-
still missing health-wise? Like, do you still look pretty hurt after I put you with the stim pack, or
No,
feeling pretty good?
I think I'll be okay now. I think I'm a little bit scraped up, but it's not going to be too bad, provided we're not like in the middle of a firefight again.
Well, at this point, we're just trying to like run through the hallways to get to the mouse droid, right? Like,
Yes.
we assumed we left the badness behind us. Hopefully, maybe.
Well-
except maybe the cat in the hatch we're in.
I'm also just going to draw my weapon.
Probably a good plan. Don't go into the dark tunnel with the evil cat creature without weapons.
Yeah.
I feel like that's okay.
And Josh, should we be resetting our strain at the beginning of each game?
No.
Okay.
However, if you have strain after that last encounter, you had a moment to, like, take your breath, like, to just kind of catch your breath.
Okay, cool.
You can make a cool or a discipline check without any difficulty, so let me remove that. And
Okay.
you can regain strain as a result of that check. So,
I'm gonna do a discipline check.
I think I will too.
you can all roll that. So it's one strain per success.
Sweet. I'm unstrained.
Okay,
Nice.
you guys take a breath. I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty soothing to be in, like, a dark tunnel alone with a dead body. So, you know, you guys
Yeah.
are all just kind of.
Totally. That resonates. That definitely resonates.
I don't know. I mean, if you guys are criminals, maybe you've been in this situation before.
It's true. It's a typical Monday for me.
Monday. Yeah. Otherwise known
Oh, yeah,
as
I guess you followed a bounty hunter around. This is like nothing for you, right?
Yeah.
You've seen worse. This is actually pretty tame.
So the question now is if you guys want to poke around in this corridor or head to the door. You guys also have the map on the data pad, so you kind of know the general area you have to go. At this point, though, you're just inside the maintenance tunnel.
I'll start wheeling my way down the tunnel, see what I can find.
I feel like we
Yeah.
should get to the Mouse Droid as soon as possible. Like that's kind of what we're here for. I mean, we're not the best of people of like, hey, let's see.
The mouse droid didn't maul this guy.
Pardon me? No, it did
The mouse
not.
droid did not maul this guy.
What if the mouse droid has augmented itself and is
I-
now
To be a cat droid?
it's an insane killing machine loose in the
Cat
bowels of
droid.
Cloud City?
I mean,
I mean,
That'd be
another murder droid
terrifying.
would
What
give R323 someone to play with.
yeah.
Yeah.
So as you begin wheeling your way down the hallway, you get about 3/4 of the way down the hallway, like towards the door, and the actual ground gives out under you.
Oh, fantastic.
So I need you to make a coordination check. Let me set that.
Is this everyone? Like, are we all moving together?
He was kind of implied he was moving ahead
I said
of
I
you,
was
so,
going, so
yeah.
definitely.
So you can roll it. Oh wow. Okay. So I don't know. You're an R3 unit, so maybe you have like a tiny. I know that R2 units have like a tiny magnetic harpoon. So maybe you're about to like go over the edge, and then you just fire it backward onto the wall and just wheel yourself back or something. And basically what happened is you wheeled forward, and a section of the grating just fell as soon as your weight was put on it. You managed to recover before you go over the edge. You look down through the hole, and there is a body at the bottom. And it's kind of like sprawled over what appears to be some piping that's under the grating in the floor. And it looks like this person probably died. Like they fell through this hole and broke their back or something, or hit their head, and they're just they're unconscious. But you couldn't, because of like the grating and how dark it is, like you couldn't see it as you were moving. It also is very clear to you, just without even making any checks, that this piece of grating was intentionally set up to do that. Someone has cut it with equipment, and as a result, it did this. Like it's not just like weak and it like gave way. This is an intentionally set up trap.
Well, and it makes sense too if there's a body below the grating, and it was reset back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone's trying to keep us out of here.
I don't suppose the body is like some cat humanoid with claws.
It is not.
No? Okay.
Nice try, though. Yeah.
I just thought I'd throw the idea out
That
there.
would have been a nice ending to the mystery.
Yeah, I mean, just walk along 3 feet. Oh, there it is. Keep going. Guys, the hole in the floor wasn't me. That just fell.
Really? It looks like you've been putting on a little extra mechanical weight lately, and you might have caused that.
I don't take kindly to your tone.
Anybody who wants to peer into the hole can make me a perception check.
I'll do that.
I'm going to set the difficulty, and we're good.
I'll do it too. I'm a little trained in that.
I'm also doing it.
Oh
I'm
dear.
also gonna do it. Why not? We're all kind of just popping our heads over, Scooby-Doo style.
Everyone wants to look in the
Ooh,
hole.
the
It's like the
heart.
big red button.
The hard cancel.
Oh man, oh wash! I see nothing.
You look in the wrong hole.
Okay. So R323, you do not see anything, but you do. For your triumph, I'm gonna give you, if it's cool with you, I want to give you some critical information about the situation. So you do not see anything on the body as you're peering over. However, you do note that if someone were to fall down here, it would be quite an ordeal to get them out. In fact, likely requiring some checks in order to get out, unless somebody has rope with them, which I somewhat doubt, since no one has a light source or healing with them. So
I have repair packs. I said I brought repair packs. I'm ready.
So
Just don't work on anyone else.
So you're pretty sure if somebody goes down there, it will be hard to get them out. It will require either extreme coordination from all of you, or just like a really hard check to get out. You, who else? Who do we have here? Some people got some really good rolls here.
I had one success.
And then Calum had a success and a triumph. Both of you guys peer into the hole, and for Calum, you get a really good look at this body, and it's gruesome. This this person probably did die from the fall, but has been similarly savaged by some creature. Evidently, it's able to get through the floor at some point, if
Uh-huh.
and get to that body. You do note that there is a unique-looking blaster on the hip of this being that is relatively undisturbed. And you think it is a specialty short-range blaster. Just actually, you have a Triumph, so I'll say you know what it is because you have a Triumph. So you're pretty sure this is the weapon on this person's hip is an HH-50 heavy blaster pistol, which is essentially like two blaster pistols strapped to each other, like horizontally. And the result is like a very deadly close-range weapon, somewhat akin to a shotgun. It is favored by criminals and people who need to intimidate people on a regular basis because it's quite a fearsome weapon. But it uses the ranged light skill. Like it is like essentially like a laser sawed-off shotgun.
Nice.
Cool.
I have a feeling some of you might want that. I use my fists and my brass knuckles, so I'm not.
I have an idea.
I don't really want to go in the hole for it.
Droid has an idea.
He always has an
You
idea.
remember? Yeah. Well, Imperial programming. You remember how I nearly fell in this hole? I mean, I hope you
How
don't.
can I
nearly
forget?
fell in this hole, yeah. So, how I expertly got myself out is shooting this magnetic thing that you probably don't understand behind me into the wall, pulled myself out. Now, if you guys rotate me around, hold me above the hole,
Oh,
I
this
can
is gonna be
shoot it
fun.
towards the gun, and then we can give it to Calum or me.
Okay.
Or, I don't
Why
know.
would you need it? You got your flamethrower.
Yeah, you have a
I have
flamethrower.
room.
Cooler. You have room. You just want to be like the jackknife of weapons.
Yeah, I don't know. Just because you guys are restricted to two hands.
Already got a muzzle sticking out your back. I don't think
Yeah.
you need another weapon.
That's the only idea I've got.
Well, let's see if we can even get it first.
Yeah.
So, like,
Also, if anyone falls in there, I'm not getting you out.
Wow, you're super nice.
Okay.
It's just I'm not. I can't. I'm sure.
you think that it is possible to get down there. Depending on how you want to do it, would determine what kind of skill you use.
What if
Sorry, go ahead.
we? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
What if we What if we attached the rope to one of us, or his harpoon cable to one of us, and then lowered someone down?
I like the harpoon thing. I just kind of was sort of flavor to be like, this is how an Astromech droid would not fall down a hole when the floor falls out from under him. I sort of assume the harpoon is kind of equivalent to a hand in this sense, and in the ability to sort of be like, no, I'm not falling into this hole. If you actually buy a full rope or harpoon launcher or something, I would certainly allow you to use it. But just for the purposes of that
Probably
check,
too
I would
flimsy.
I would
So
just
two
kinda think-
people hold me over the hole.
I'm gonna say your harpoon is arm's length. It's equivalent to an arm. Again, I wanted you to
I
be
tried,
able to
guys.
have
I
a
really
good
tried.
reason.
I really tried.
What is the dimension of the hole? Is it
It's about 3 feet by 3 feet. You actually think that
And the
if your
depth?
arms were outstretched, you could potentially actually really hurt yourself as you fall through it.
And how deep is it again?
Oh, the bottom is about 10 feet below you.
Nah, you can just jump down there.
We could make a chain of bodies and just hold each other's ankles and drop.
You. Yes, you could.
I could. We also have a couple light side points that we could flip to say, hey, we knew we were coming into these types of areas. Maybe we brought some rope with us.
That might be a good use of.
Mm-hmm.
The destined rope.
You were
Yes.
destined to have a rope, and for one destiny point, I'll give you a rope, and I'll give you a light source that actually is good and will negate penalties.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a survival kit. So I think it's probably worth a destiny point to have a flashlight and some rope.
That's a 2-for-1, guys.
Maybe I know it's on the back of R3. I'm like,
Yeah,
hey,
you
what
can
is this
open up the
text
back
here?
door.
This
There you
text says survival kit.
Yeah, like we're finding these like unknown compartments into the Imperial droid. Like they were like, hey, maybe our droid may need some rope and a light source at some point.
How did they fit that in there with all the weapon systems? These
Look,
guys do it all.
Tell me about all of the weapon systems. God.
It looks like they
They only know about
left out some sympathy hardware.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, your empathy firmware has been omitted for sure.
They took it up to make room for the rope.
So,
So I
what
think we're gonna do that, right,
you're gonna-
guys?
you're
Yeah,
gonna
that
do
sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Someone click use light side, I guess, and I'll make sure it actually went through. I'm still.
It went through.
It did. All right, great. So you actually remember to bring rope and a light source because you guys are heroes. And
Fantastic.
No,
some
I wouldn't
weird
go
energy.
as far as heroes.
Okay.
Smart.
Some weird energy field wants you to
Somewhat
succeed.
smart.
You don't really understand the energy field, but yeah.
So who's the lightest of all of us and wants to get tied to the rope and drop down the hole? It's not me. I'm the big, like, muscular Zabrak.
I'm gonna argue it's not the Astromech droid. I'm just gonna go with that. But
I'm thinking it's probably Calum or Xanya.
I think. I mean,
I have
I'm
my
pretty
weight on here
sure.
somewhere.
I feel like
Maybe I
it's
don't.
probably Calum.
you
I feel like those Leku on the
Yeah, that sounds
Xanya
fine.
probably add a little bit of weight. So you ready to go down the hole? I mean, the weapon is for you. So
That's true. I don't have skill in heavy weapons, but I might be able
It's
to
a
use
light
it.
weapon.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it?
I thought it was light ranged.
Yeah,
It's just a really heavy light weapon.
it's ranged
Okay.
light. Like it's like
Oh,
a
yeah,
sawed-off
definitely.
shotgun. Yeah.
I definitely don't mind being the one going. I mean, new gear, yeah, for sure.
All right, so I'm gonna like tie it around your waist, and I'm gonna flex my awesome muscles and start lowering you down into the hole very slowly because I'm a nice person.
All right, I need you to make an athletics check. I'm going to say that the difficulty, you're lowering someone into a hole.
Luckily, I'm very athletic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm
I'm
not going to give
appreciating
you
all of this.
I'm not going to give you penalties for light because you guys have a light source now.
Who has the light? And what is it?
I'm assuming it's some kind of handheld or wrist.
Oh
deployed.
no, I drop you down the hole.
oh no.
Rip.
Is it
It's nil.
It's nothing. It's nil. Okay.
All right, Calum.
So she begins to lower you down the hole, and you're actually like you're only like about 2 feet from the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and she drops you. You fall onto the pipe, and you manage to kind of like quickly like wrap yourself around the pipe. You're okay. But I'm gonna say you take 3 strain. You kind of like are both surprised, and you sort of almost roll your ankle as this happens. So you take a little bit of strain
Okay.
from the situation, but you're now next to the body. This body appears to be, now that you're close to it, appears to be fresher than the other one, and obviously it has the weapon on it, which you can easily get out of the holster. The weapon itself is in actually really good condition.
All right.
So there's no penalties or anything to use it. It looks like its former owner has lovingly maintained it, and that has served it well into extending into your service. I'm going to quickly just fire out a link here for you guys to a list of stuff, and you can put the stats in from there.
Oh, cool.
It is the HH50 heavy blaster pistol. It's actually quite cool. It's a short range weapon, which kind of isn't cool, but it does serious work at close range. The other thing that you note on this body is that there is an insignia for the triple B on the shreds of this person's
Man,
clothing.
those guys they're having a hard time lately.
So
Mhm.
I can rub that off with my hand, though, right?
Oh, that's on the actual like the tattered clothing on the body, not on
Oh,
the,
I
not
see.
on the weapon.
Not on the weapon. Okay.
The weapon has no identification on it at all. If it was like a legally purchased weapon, there would be like some kind of serial on it, but it's been completely filed off.
Okay.
So the weapon itself is probably untraceable.
Probably.
Probably.
Cool.
But it's very likely this will be recognizable, though, right?
It is a distinctive weapon. It's not the
Okay.
kind of weapon that anybody walking around would just carry.
I think I'd still overshadow you. I think you'd be okay.
We may
Yeah, that's true.
recognize him as a game member, though, which may come in handy, or
That's
it
true.
may not work out so well for us. But you have
Okay.
another weapon, so if it becomes an issue, you could always just like hide it in your jacket.
Yeah, that's true. I'll pull it out if the situation warrants it, but I'll just use my regular.
Speaking of pulling him out,
Okay.
are we just leaving him in there, or?
I'm assuming he like throws the rope back up to me, and I can like pull him back
We
in.
have some rope.
Make
We
like,
can
a
pull him back
mental
in.
note to go to the gym more, so I don't drop people in holes.
Yeah, if you are just anchoring the rope for him, then he can make a check. Which I'd say is probably easier than you just yanking him out of the hole. So it's up to you as to what you want.
Like what kind of check? Can I just do like another athletics check to like?
If you're just holding the rope, I won't make you make a check, but Calum will have to make a coordination or an athletics check.
Okay.
It'll just be easier. Like it'll be easy. So I have the difficulty set for that.
Coordination, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, coordination is kind of like you're using the rope to rappel up the wall. Sort of, and,
Yeah.
all right, you're good. So you get out of the hole. I would like actually from Xanya, I would like a mechanics check real quick.
You bet. What am I doing?
You are
Mechanic.
taking a look at. Oh, crap! Sorry. Let me reset. Let me reset the. It might actually improve your result. So roll that again. Sorry.
Yay, mechanics. All right.
Okay.
Much better.
So you take a look at the actual cutting. Like everybody else is worrying about getting this gun out of this hole, and you're maybe not. You're not really excited by that. So you take a look at the actual equipment used to cut this hole in the floor, and
Cool.
it is not, whatever was used is not a precision instrument. In fact, it doesn't look like any sort of industrial cutting tool you have ever seen in life.
Okay, and I've seen a lot of industrial cutting tools.
Yeah, I imagine you probably have. Like
I've seen quite a few in my time.
These cuts are they're pretty even.
Okay.
So whatever caused them is like a high intensity beam, but it
Okay.
doesn't appear that it was designed for this. And you actually see along the edges of where the cut was, you actually see that like the metal actually like bubbled up and out of where the cut was being made, and sort of just is like adhering to the edges of it. So like it wasn't, whatever did this, it was not designed to do this.
Okay.
It's foreign. You've not ever really, you can't guess at what it was, except that it wasn't intended for this purpose.
Okay.
With her advantage, can we say that like as we move through the tunnels, she can like kind of identify if we see other potential holes that we might fall through?
I love that. Well, identifying the holes.
I would say identify like the burning.
Yeah, like
around
any other time we see like the burning like thing that she saw, we can kind of
I'll
see.
give you a boost die to find similar traps that would be cut like that. And,
Okay, cool.
And you do take note of the fact of this particular kind of cut, like you commit it to memory. So if you see any other similar markings,
or something that might have caused it.
Yeah, then certainly that would be brought to your attention. Absolutely.
Cool.
Quick check-in. Do we hear them, like the 3Bs trying to get through the door we locked behind us, or are we pretty confident we're pretty locked in and we're good to go?
Well, you guys just caused a giant explosion, so you're sure someone's gonna come after you eventually, but there's probably fire suppressing systems that are now in effect to make sure that the entire block doesn't burn down after what R323 did to the front of the building, and you don't hear anybody trying to come through the door right now. You imagine that you've bought some time. You also, based on the fact that you've seen 2 bodies in here, you're not even sure that this is a place those people want to go.
Oh, like we've now entered into the unknown and they are not following us, assuming we're gonna die.
Yeah, like the door was locked, and no one in the area had the key, so it would seem that nobody really is in a rush to get through this door on a constant basis. And then the first thing you found on the other side of the door was a body. So it's probably fair to assume that they don't use this access way on a regular basis. And like I said, you might even be able to surmise that they don't want to go in here. And there's a really good reason why they don't want to go in here.
There's a terrifying beast around.
We don't really have a choice, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, if this is the way that most Droid went, we don't really have a choice.
Can I just roll a quick perception check and see if I hear anything like beast-like that might be prowling around in the tunnels around us?
I won't make you make a check for that. You guys don't hear anything. It is actually very quiet in this access way because, like I said, a lot of the things that should be powered in here are not, including the light systems. That also is a mystery for the moment, but you haven't yet tried to go through the door, so you don't even know if the door on at the end of this hallway is powered. It's not even clear to you if it is.
Cool.
I think we should really get a move on, because even though we're kind of sure they're not following us, I really don't like being in here, and I just want to get the job done.
I got the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like we can really... There wasn't any doorway or any opening in the pit, right? It's closed.
You could look around if you want. If you want to say that you did poke around when you were down there, then yeah, you could certainly do that.
Okay.
So just taking a cursory glance, you do actually see what appears to be a low maintenance hatch. It's something that you could probably crawl through it. An Astromech droid would have problems. Like, you would have to pull it through the vent. Like, you'd have to lay it flat and pull it, basically. Like, that droid could not stand up. There's no way for it to stand up. So that is an option. You are pretty sure dragging an Astromech droid through that vent would create quite a bit of noise.
Yeah.
And my paint. Think of the paint.
Yeah, and you're one of our heavy
It's a
hitters.
crappy paint job anyway. Those Imperials don't have any style.
Yeah.
I'm open for, the rework sometime if we find the time and the money.
The money. We need to get the duct tape off our ship before we give you a better paint job.
That's more of a priority than your beauty treatment right now, R2. Don't worry about it.
I tried.
I say we just go through the other door.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go look at the other door.
Okay, you go look at the other door. So you wheel up to the door, and as you wheel up to the door, your wheels get off of grating, and they find purchase on what appears to be a solid piece of metal. And the piece of metal moves down about 2 inches. And there is a hose that you notice as soon as you roll onto this thing, because it begins spraying constantly what appears to be a fine white mist everywhere.
Oh boy.
So I need a resilience check from you, Stark.
Am I
He's just
inhaling this?
face checking all of these traps.
Am I inhaling this?
It is not an inhaled poison, because that would not affect you.
Okay, you want resilience?
Yes.
Have you done difficulty?
I'm actually going to give you a bonus because you have a crazy soak and you are a droid. So prolonged exposure to this would affect you, but maybe not cursory exposure to it. So yeah, roll it up.
Oof.
Okay, but you have advantage, which allows you to remove strain. So I'm going to say you only take 2 strain instead of 5.
Okay.
This is a freezing cold mist. Like, this is part of a carbonite. You think this is part of a carbonite freezing system that's basically been routed into the area above the door, so that when people try and go through the door, it sprays them to death with carbonite.
I think someone doesn't want us to go in here.
I might be inclined to agree.
The system sprays you for about 3 seconds, and then whatever set it up fails and it stops spraying, and there's just kind of this frosty rime all along the grate and the walls and the front of your Astromech dome as you are after you were sprayed with it.
You asked for a new paint job. There you go.
Wow.
Can I get someone to like demist my dome?
Yeah, someone could definitely do that for
Can
you.
you, like, wipe
I'm
down
gonna, before demisting his dome, I'm gonna.
rights and all that?
Can I do a mechanics check and see if I can like figure out maybe something useful about how this was set up?
Yep, absolutely. Let me. And I'm actually gonna give you. I'm gonna set the. You don't have to add it. I'm giving you a boost die though.
Cool.
And you can roll.
2
Wow.
successes and an advantage.
This system was set up by an amateur, and you're pretty sure that they've simply rerouted a section of the carbon freezing like lines that go above this maintenance hatch. You're pretty sure there's no way this would fire again unless a certain like tanks and chemicals were replaced. It seems unlikely that someone would do that without basically crawling into a hatch above you or something. So you're safe for the moment, but this is an amateur job. This like
Do I see any hatches above me or something like that?
You don't see anything directly above you, but I mean, Cal would make you aware that there is a maintenance hatch below you guys, so it might be possible to get up there.
Okay.
But like, this kind of work is so shoddy that if you did it, you'd probably be ashamed of yourself. This person does not understand what they're doing. They might have seen like carbon freezing enough to like set something up just by like watching, but they don't understand the processes. Like they're sort of like, okay, so bad stuff comes out of this when these tanks are attached, and I'm just gonna make it so that when someone steps here, it sprays. But it's like very crude. It is very crude.
Gotcha.
I want
I
to know
feel
who
good, by the way. Thanks, guys.
You want to know who did it?
Yeah, I want to know who did it. Like, what's going on in here? Why do they care so much? It just seems like a big empty place to me.
Yeah, there's got to be something back here besides the droid. Maybe they're hiding.
Maybe the droid's trying to protect itself.
Maybe the droid did it. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
the
the droid
droid
did it.
set up a trap.
I like
Maybe the mouse droid was like, leave me alone.
I think we're giving droids way too much credit.
I am required to give droids way too much credit because without them, we would all be dead.
Yeah, what she said. Is the door open?
Or we're dead because of droids with flamethrowers.
Well, let's have this debate later.
Who is trying to open the door?
I'll try. Well,
so you interface with the panel, and it appears that the power to this door is dead.
Haha.
does someone have a more manual approach with some kind of hand-like device?
Yeah.
I wanted to. Can I look for like some piece of metal that I can like kind of like wedge into a crack in the door and start like pushing it open, like something to use for leverage to start like opening the door?
Yeah, you can find a piece of. Well, sure. You want to just make an athletics check to try and just leverage the door open?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do.
Sure. Let me just set your. So I'm going to give you one setback die because you're just using like improvised tools. You don't have the right tools.
Apparently, I do.
Doesn't matter what I do. Doesn't matter what I do.
Brute force is the way to go.
Actually, I don't think I got that.
I left the boost die in accidentally, but
yeah, but it's still 2 success and 1 advantage.
what I'll say is that somebody else tries to help you. So you like take lead and start doing it, and someone else like just puts their hand under the door to try and keep it up. So that acts as assistance. So I'll let you keep the die. You pop the door open, and the actual mechanism is intact. So it's not like you just ripped the door up like the Hulk. Like, it is possible to open this door if it were powered. Like, it's not like the mechanisms are all seized. So you do, however, a fairly impressive wedging open of this door, and like after you get it about 12 inches off the ground, you're able to just put your hands under it and just slowly pull it up. which is quite impressive coming from a bipedal humanoid. There's a cool moment as you just sort of like grunt and then just jerk the door up.
I'll wheel my way through.
With my advantage, can I say that like I'm able to actually make it so that the door stays up, so I don't have to like hold it and it'll stay up behind us?
Yeah, sure. So you actually take the door and jerk it up so hard that it like sticks. Something sticks at the top.
Yeah, exactly. Like I bent something. Like I'm so strong, I bent the thing at the top,
Yeah.
and it's like sticking.
Under my breath, I'm like, you broke something.
And so, R323, you've said that you want to just go into the room beyond.
Yeah.
So you wheel into this room. This room looks like the kind of room that you use for like storage, maybe. There's a lot of containers of different varieties that appear to have materials in them that you would use for the carbon freezing process. And so as a result of that, you're pretty sure that firing weaponry in here could be very dangerous. Very dangerous indeed.
Is there any boxes that say like portable carbonite freezer on?
You do not see a box that says that. There's just like a bunch of different gases involved in the carbon freezing process. So you do note there's also some other gases that are probably just used for like maintenance and other processes, like methane. You see some canisters of methane. There's obviously carbonite and hydrogen, all sorts of interesting things in this room.
So if we need to run away, point the flamethrower at this room, and then run away?
Even without making a check, you're pretty sure there would be an explosion. The extent of which is unclear at this time, but there would be one.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't fight in this room. Is there a door in this room? Another door?
So the room itself is actually sort of like a almost like a semicircle. So you come in on one end, on the flat part of the semicircle on the left, and the exit is on the right hand part of the flat of that semicircle. And at the rounded top of it is like what appears to be a window. And the window is overlooking the central void of Cloud City, which if you've seen Empire Strikes Back is sort of the area that like Luke and Darth Vader fight in at the very end of the duel.
There's no like Jedi falling from the ceiling over there?
You don't see any falling Jedi, but they this adventure does take place after he would have fallen.
Maybe someone else got inspired, you know?
It's possible. It's possible. And so you take a look. This window is in good condition. You take a look, and you can see in the distance, in the center of this central void, is the area where the droid stopped. And it's sort of like at the end of a walkway, and there's like a vein that comes up. You can't see the droid from here, but you know that that's where it stopped.
Like the mouse droid?
Yes. Yeah, so it's kind of a so close yet so far moment, because you can see where you need to go, but there's no way to get there from here without going down from where you are. And going down the outside, like breaking open this window and going down the outside is a possibility, but it would be extremely dangerous. And also, I don't think you have a rope that's long enough. So, like...
We do have rope, though, now. It's progress.
Yeah, you
Unless
do have
we use
rope.
another light side point.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
Rope.
So you can see where you need to go. It's just that you can't get there from here yet. You know that you need to go down from this area through some access ways into what appears to be a control room. And from the control room, there should be a path down to the walkway. So for the moment, your goal is not entirely... Like, your goal is clear, but, like, the pathway to get there is not. But you do have a map, also. I would need everybody to make a perception check, however.
Okay.
And please don't make it yet.
We could still, as an option for later, check that maintenance hatch just to see if it leads anywhere. That could one person could go through and find something useful.
Yeah, that's still back there.
Sorry, I don't need perception. I need vigil. Oh wait, no, it is perception. Sorry, and I'm good.
Ooh. Those are
Oh, wow.
Whoa,
Nice.
what?
Okay.
You guys
We suck.
you guys take a look around this room. You guys are like, okay, so that's where we have to go. We need to get down from here somehow. You have a door, so you're pretty sure you could go through this other door and start making your way down. And you guys take a look around the room, like just to see if there's anything of use. Like I said, there's chemicals in here. You guys don't see anything. And as you guys are discussing where you should go, you hear this noise. And
Oh, boy.
it sounds like a really low growl. Like the kind of growl that a house cat would make, except much lower.
We even hear that considering we rolled like despairs and failures and threat.
Well, I'm kind of narrating.
Gotcha.
So, there's this. You guys are looking around this room and you don't see anything, and then you hear something, and then almost like you should have seen it before, and you don't know why you didn't see it. You guys see 3 felines emerge into the room, 2 of which appear to be like adults, and 1 of which is definitely a juvenile. The 2 adults are both wearing collars that are kind of too small for their neck, like they grew, and the collars did not, for whatever reason. The collars are both adorned with an expensive gem on them, and so it appears that these are pets that have outgrown their owner. And I guess we probably need to take a break. So
That is a good time for a break.
we can leave it there for now. So you guys are confronted by these cats. You're uncertain. The young one does not have a collar. You're uncertain as to how you missed them, because now they seem to be in plain sight where they weren't before. And when we come back, we'll see how this encounter comes to a conclusion.
Whew.
All right. So yeah, we'll be right back. Don't go too far.